Good evening, you're watching To The Point, and before we actually begin the formal show, we are now at the Jaya Memorial. General Secretary of the AIADMK, Shashikala, is visiting. She's going to be paying her respects before she meets the governor at 7:30 p.m. As you can see, there's an enormous crowd there. This is clearly a moment that a lot of people are coming out to see Shashikala. There she is in a green sari. Green, I believe, was considered Jayalalita's favorite color. She thought it was lucky for her, and that is perhaps one reason why Shashikala is wearing it herself this evening. Although interestingly, yesterday at that party meeting where the MLAs were present to pledge their support, she chose instead to wear pink. This visit to the Jaya Memorial is taking place almost exactly half an hour before Shashikala's very important meeting with the governor. That's the meeting where she will try and convince the governor that she has the support and that she wants to persuade him to swear her in immediately, or at least as soon as possible. As you know, the caretaker chief minister met the governor at 5 o'clock today. The meeting lasted for some 5 or 10 minutes, and he's reported that the governor has said to him that justice will be done. It's reported that Shashikala will be meeting the governor with 10 senior AIADMK ministers. The governor has put a limit on the number of people she can bring. She is permitted to bring 10, just as earlier Mr. Paneer Selvam was permitted to bring 10 people as well. I'm guessing that could be some of the papers that Shashikala will be presenting to the governor. She's clearly, before that, sought Jayalalita's blessings. Those papers have now been sent back, probably through an aide, to keep ready. And yes, the visit to the Jaya Memorial is over. Shashikala is now leaving. She'll be soon getting into a car and driving to Raj Bhavan to meet the governor. Hello and welcome to the formal beginning of To The Point tonight. With the Tamil Nadu governor arriving in Chennai this afternoon, the political crisis in the state is clearly moving towards a climax. O. Paneerselvam met the governor at 5 o'clock. Shashikala will meet him at 7:30. Later in part 2, we shall discuss with top lawyers, editors and party spokespersons the turmoil in Tamil Nadu and ask, is it coming closer to resolution? But first, I'm joined from Chennai by one of the most critical supporters of caretaker Chief Minister O. Paneerselvam, AIADMK Rajya Sabha MP and well-known leader V. Maitrayan. Mr. Maitrayan, Mr. Paneerselvam met the governor at 5 p.m. today. Can you tell me what happened at that meeting?
Karan, nice talking to you. First, I want to make a correction. You said caretaker chief minister. Maybe in a worldly thing, you may call him as a caretaker chief minister. But as per constitution, there is no such thing as a caretaker chief minister. He is the chief minister of the state.
All right, I accept that. Can you tell me what happened at that meeting?
The team of AIDMK leaders under the leadership of the chief minister, Mr. O. Paneerselvam, went to Raj Bhavan and met the governor. And the chief minister explained to the governor the situation prevailing in Tamil Nadu, the various political happenings, and his own version. The governor patiently listened, and we await his verdict.
It was a very short meeting, Mr. Maithran. It lasted for 5, maybe a maximum of 10 minutes. Why was it so short?
Well, when facts are clear, you don't need to do a long explanation. The more and more you want to explain and take more time, it means your case is weak. Probably that may happen at 7:30.
Now, did Mr. Paneerselvam tell the governor that he wishes to withdraw the resignation he gave him earlier, and which, by the way, the governor has already accepted?
I said the prevailing situation in Tamil Nadu, the political situation in Tamil Nadu for the last couple of days has been very clearly explained to the governor by the chief minister in his written petition also. Obviously, that will include everything, including the circumstances in which he had to resign and what were the factors involved in that. All those things he would have definitely explained in that.
But I'm asking you specifically, Mr. Maithran, did Mr. Paneerselvam ask the governor if he can withdraw his resignation?
See, we have given the petition. The governor has to consult his legal experts, and then Raj Bhavan will come out with a definite answer for that. Till then, it will not be prudent on my part to say what is there in the petition.
But then you're deliberately leaving the audience in doubt whether Mr. Paneerselvam actually asked the governor if he can withdraw his resignation or not. You're not answering that clearly. Why?
The audience both in Tamil Nadu as well as the nation across, they are well aware of the situation in Tamil Nadu, and they are well aware of Mr. Paneerselvam's interview to the media and the statements he had made. So that's all very well explained already to the audience. So there is nothing that I am hiding from them, or there is nothing that I need to tell them new.
All right, let me for a moment assume that Mr. Paneerselvam did say to the governor, I want to withdraw my resignation, both verbally as well as in the petition he handed over. What sort of response did Mr. Paneerselvam get from the governor?
As I said, this is a constitutional matter. We have given our petition. The team led by Mrs. Sashikala Natarajan, they are meeting at 7:30. They will give their petition. Obviously, the governor cannot take a decision just like that in a matter of seconds or minutes. He has to consult his legal experts, no?
But did you get any indication of how the governor...
He will not give an answer either to Mrs. Sashikala also.
That I understand. But did you get any indication of how the governor views Mr. Paneerselvam's request to withdraw his resignation? Did you get any indication of how the governor views it?
The only answer I can give to you at the moment is, after meeting the governor, once we came back, the Chief Minister, Mr. Paneerselvam, addressed the media, and there he has said very clearly that he met the governor and explained the position, and he made the situation in Tamil Nadu. I don't think I need to explain to you how people are made and forced to do. In fact, even as I speak to you today, your media, and as well as the media from other places, they have all telecast how the MLAs of Tamil Nadu, the AIDMK MLAs, they have been held as captive prisoners in various places, and they are forced. In fact, we receive information that one of the MLAs, who is a minister, he is not well, he has got a high BP, his family wants to send the medicines to him, but they are prevented from sending the medicine. So if that is the situation, if this can happen, well, anything can happen, you know that.
Except that, Mr. Maitreyan, those are MLAs. In Mr. Paneerselvam's case, he was the chief minister, and not a new chief minister, a three-time chief minister.
See, that is what again I am saying. Even you would have seen when about a week or 10 days ago, when the MLA's meeting was held in the party office, chaired by Mrs. Shashikala Natarajan, the chief minister, who is supposed to be the leader of the legislature party, he was not seated on the dais. He was made to sit in front, in the first row. So that is the way it used to function.
Tell me something. When Mr. Paneerselvam, either verbally or in his written petition, told the governor that he had been forced to resign, did the governor believe this? Was he skeptical? Did he express doubt, or was he silent?
See, there is nothing that the governor has to disbelieve, because what Mr. Paneerselvam said is on public record, and he has given certain details in the petition, and the governor has to consult the legal people. If he is going to dismiss that petition, he would have straight said it point blank on the face of us.
Did the governor give any indication of how long he will take before he gives his opinion on the petition you've given him?
Well, see, that is something, it depends upon the legal advice he gets. If the legal advice is fast, he may get it. If he needs more legal advice or more and more legal advice, it depends on that, no.
Now, when he was meeting the governor, what did Mr. Paneerselvam tell the governor about Ms. Shashikala?
See, we do not talk about individuals. Paneerselvam was the chief minister. He had to resign under certain circumstances, and how he was made to resign, all those details are said. We, as I said, even from the day, so far Mr. Paneerselvam has never ever spoken for or against any individual.
No, I'm not asking about personal comments against an individual. I'm asking if Mr. Paneerselvam expressed any opinion or any doubts about the manner in which Shashikala had become General Secretary. Publicly, he has said that she's only temporary General Secretary. Did he make that same point to the governor? See, General Secretaryship of the party is the party affair, or it can be a public knowledge. It need not be the petition content in a representation to the governor. See, the petition to the governor will purely deal with only matter related to the legislature. In other words, the manner in which, or any questions and doubts about Shashikala becoming General Secretary were not raised with the governor either verbally or in that written petition. Am I right?
See, that question which you asked about the General Secretaryship, it will be raised with the Election Commission. That is the appropriate forum for that.
And is that something Mr. Paneerselvam intends to do?
Well, we will do it subsequently, once this matter is settled.
Did Mr. Paneerselvam raise with the governor the candidature that Shashikala wants to put forward to become Chief Minister? Did he discuss with the governor the claim she wants to make to become Chief Minister?
Yeah, see, naturally, when Mr. Paneerselvam was forced to resign, then the legislature party met at the party office, and all the MLAs were similarly asked to sign and elect Mrs. Shashikala Natarajan as the chief ministerial candidate. So obviously these are all matters which will be raised in the legislative and the legal forums, no?
When the chief minister told the governor he was forced to resign, did he also go one step further and say that the MLAs at that meeting were forced to elect Shashikala as the legislature party leader?
No, in fact, I will give only a corollary to this. I will not give a straight answer to you for this. Yesterday, they had a meeting in the party office where all the MLAs were supposed to come. From 11 o'clock till 4 o'clock, they were all made to sit in the office. They were given, of course, lunch there. And 4 o'clock, they were all herded in two special buses. And they were taken to the MLA hostel to pack their baggages. and they were taken to a minister's house. There they were asked to sign on two blank papers, and then from there the MLAs were taken to the unknown destination. One such MLA, who is also a former minister, he somehow escaped from that, and he came and supported Paneerselvam. So this is the testimony.
All right, let's slightly broaden our discussion, Mr. Maitriyan. Yesterday, it was believed that Shashikala had 129 MLAs, maybe a few more. Your side was claiming that you had 22, although others put your figure at 6 or 8. As of this evening, according to you, how many MLAs are supporting Shashikala and how many MLAs are backing Mr. Paneerselvam?
See, as you said 129 in their camp. I doubt it very much, because when the signatures can be forged, you never know what is the true number. Whether there were really 129 people there, or it was half or less than that, we do not know. Nor do they want to divulge it. So, the best way to solve this question will undoubtedly be the floor of the assembly, if and when that is called and asked to prove the majority. The floor of the house will definitely show in clear-cut terms how many MLAs belong to which side. The division will obviously explain everything.
How many do you believe
you have? That is the only way.
How many do you believe you have on your side this evening? As of this evening, how many do you believe are with Mr. Paneerselvam?
As I said, the Chief Minister has got absolute confidence that the MLAs overwhelmingly will support him. Their inner conscience is for him, for various reasons, compelling reasons, and due to pressure, they may be lodged somewhere here and there. As I said, when the situation comes to a finality in the floor of the House, their conscience will definitely be awakened and they will support Mr. Paneerselvam.
Now, today, Mr. Madhusudanan, the Presidium Chairman, joined you. Do you believe that his coming over to support Mr. Paneerselvam means that he will also bring a majority of the MLAs with him?
See, as far as AIDMK is concerned, there may be many positions in the party, organizational, but 3 positions are very important: the Presidium Chairman, the General Secretary, and the Treasurer of the party. The General Secretary, Madam Purashitalavi Amma, she is no more. So the other 2, the Presidium Chairman is Madhusudanan and the Treasurer is Mr. Paneerselvam. Now both the Presidium Chairman and Paneerselvam, they have come together. That makes a lot of difference, and it speaks so many unspoken things.
Such as what? Give me an example. What are those unspoken things?
That's what I told you, no? See, till yesterday or till today morning, everybody felt that the Presidium Chairman is along with Mrs. Shashikala Natarajan. But like his own conscience pricked him and he came to our side, the MLA's conscience also will get awakened on the day of the conference vote. They may not see. Again, another thing, all these MLAs are under captive prison and in unknown destinations. If Mrs. Shashikala Natarajan and her camp, they are confident about the MLAs, they should allow these MLAs to roam freely. See, if like for example, some of the MLAs who are now officially and openly with Mr. O. Paneerselvam, they are not captive prisoners. They roam around very freely. So if the MLAs who are with Mrs. Shashikala Natarajan, if she is confident about them, why should they be kept in unknown destination somewhere in ECR? That itself shows the lack of confidence in her own camp.
Now, this afternoon, Mr. Paneerselvam said that Mr. Madhusudanan had been threatened. Can you give me more details?
Well, see, this question can be best answered only by Mr. Madhusudanan. Whatever I say will be an unreliable third-hand information. It is not even an unreliable second-hand information. It will be an unreliable third-hand information.
No, forgive me.
The best person will be Madhusudanan. Probably you should call him in one of your shows and ask him.
Except for the fact that he's not with us, you are. And secondly, the people and the country want to know what sort of threats were given to Mr. Madhusudanan. I accept that what you're telling me is second-hand. But please go ahead and tell me. Let it be second-hand, but tell me.
No, as I said, like for example, the MLA who was a former minister, If he was forced to sign and he was taken in a bus and was about to be taken to an unknown destination, before that he escaped and came to our side, that shows the level of threat. See, threat does not mean physical threat alone. Threat means in so many ways.
Now, today, Mr. Paneerselvam showed and read large parts of the 2012 letter of apology that Shashikala sent Jayalalitha. What was the purpose of reading that out? What do you think it's gained? What do you think it's established? What point has it made?
Now, the only point made in that is, in 2012, when that letter of apology was written to Amma, two factors were very important in that. One, Mrs. Shashikala acknowledged officially that her family members and some friends, they brought bad name and blemish to Madam's reputation and image. They conspired to act against her, and that she will, from then onwards, will never ever have any truck with them. She disowned them. That is what she said. But today, all those family members whom she said they are traitors to Amma, they are by her side and they are today with her. So that is one factor which it was mentioned. And the second important thing which was mentioned in that letter of apology was that Shashikala Natarajan in that letter very clearly mentioned that she does not and she will not aspire any position in the party, in the legislature, in the parliament or in the cabinet. She will not want any position officially in the political scenario. She will be very happy to be the sister of Amma and do her household job. And now, after violating both the occasions, to accuse Paneerselvam as a traitor is a travesty of justice.
Now, for her part, Shashikala has claimed that Mr. Paneerselvam is acting at the behest of the DMK. In Delhi, the Congress party is saying that he's being encouraged by the BJP government. Is Mr. Paneerselvam either the DMK's or the BJP's puppet?
As I said, both these statements itself, they are contradictory and they don't match with the versions. Number one, Tamil Nadu, as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, BJP is a non-player. They don't have a single MLA in the assembly, and there is no way that BJP can help officially or unofficially, behind the scene or in front of the scene, for Mr. Paneerselvam. As far as DMK is concerned, to say that DMK will support Paneerselvam or Paneerselvam will seek the support of DMK, I think unless it is established with some official authorized documentation to level baseless charges on the way when you walk across, I think a responsible leader will not do that.
Now, Mr. Paneerselvam has also said that
if by the same yardstick, by the same yardstick, just because the chief minister inside the assembly, he talks to the leader of the opposition, if that is hobnobbing with the opposition or hobnobbing ADMK, hobnobbing with the DMK, then Mr. Karunanidhi's wife Rajati Ammal, she went to Apollo, she was closeted with Shashikala for 1.5 hours. But what do you call that as?
All right.
I don't want to go into the personal things because I never speak on individuals, but because this matter is raised, I am putting it to you.
Now, Mr. Paneerselvam has also said that he will appoint a judicial probe under a retired High Court judge to investigate the treatment given to Jayalalitha when she was in hospital. When does he plan to set up this probe? Because if he doesn't act quickly, the governor may swear in a new chief minister and then Mr. Paneerselvam will actually lose the authority. And by the way, as I ask you that question, Mr. Maitreyan, Shashikala has reached the governor's house and is walking in. But my question is, when will Mr. Paneerselvam announce this probe and set it up? Because if he doesn't act soon, he could lose the authority to do so.
See, first of all, the chief minister said an inquiry commission by a retired Supreme Court judge, not a High Court judge, number one. And number two, see, these are things which have to be in a process. The various people have to be investigated and then an inquiry commission, because when you appoint an inquiry commission, you have to give terms of reference. For that terms of reference, there should be some basic investigation to be compiled and then put into place. So those things will take their own course.
Mr. Paneerselvam has also written...
And you can be rest assured, Mr. O. Paneerselvam will continue to be the Chief Minister and he will definitely order an inquiry on this.
Mr. Paneerselvam has also written to banks asking them to freeze AIA DMK accounts and not to release money. In particular, he said that no money must be released unless he gives written authorization for that to happen. Have you had any response from those banks?
Well, see, I have not seen the response, but I'm told that the bank has given a stay order to freeze the accounts and not to release it until the matter is settled.
Can I ask who told you this? Or is it hearsay?
No, that's what I told you. No, I am told.
By Mr. Paneerselvam?
I mean, your channel can contact the concerned bank and get the details.
But you're with Mr. Paneerselvam. You've been beside him all day. Has he told you this? Have the banks told him this?
Well, as I said, no. See, as far as the bank accounts are concerned, he set the process in motion. I don't think we need to go too much into that. That is a legal process that will take care of it. If the bank doesn't freeze it, then they have to face the consequences. That's all.
Now, this evening, after your meeting with the governor, do you get the feeling that he will wait for the Supreme Court verdict before he acts? Did you get that feeling?
See, I am not the spokesperson for His Excellency the Governor. But as I said, when the Governor takes a decision, he has to fulfill so many formalities. First of all, our petition, a petition by the other group, he has to go into the veracity legally, consult the various legal experts, and then of course the other factors, as maybe the judgment if and when that is delivered, that also may factor. I do not know. It is up to the Governor to take a decision.
My last question, Mr. Maitreyan, most people say that the only real hope that Mr. Paneerselvam has of once again being restored as Chief Minister, although I know you keep insisting he's still Chief Minister, but the point is he's resigned and that resignation has been accepted. So people say the only real hope he has of being restored as Chief Minister is if that Supreme Court verdict goes against Shashikala and she therefore cannot be made Chief Minister. Then in those circumstances, your MLAs will flock to Mr. Paneerselvam. But if that acquittal is upheld, they'll probably stay with her. How do you respond to that view?
You know, a successful politician does not place his cards only on one issue. Judicial judgment is one aspect. But today, the people of Tamil Nadu are overwhelmingly in support of the Chief Minister Paneerselvam. In fact, in various places, the people have started demonstrating in front of the houses of the MLAs, AIDMK MLAs, forcing them, asking them to clearly come out in support of Paneerselvam, because this election was fought in the name of Amma, vote for Amma, and people voted for Amma. Now, if Amma's legacy has to continue, then they have to support the Chief Minister, because Chief Minister today is not talking about himself, he is talking about the legacy of Amma. So, naturally their conscience has to be, either it has to be awakened on their own, or the people of this constituency will force them to take the decision.
My last question.
That also will be a very major factor.
My last question, Mr. Maitreyan. Mr. Paneerselvam has told The Hindu in an interview he gave the paper, which is published this morning, that he's only so far revealed 10% of what he knows. What is the remaining 90% that he has up his sleeve?
See, when he himself has not revealed the remaining 90%, is it fair on you to ask me this question? Probably he is the only person who can answer it subsequently.
But is he holding it as some sort of time bomb with which to threaten Shashikala? Is this some way of, forgive my language, blackmailing by suggestion?
See, for example, I will put it this way, कुछ बातें दिल में ही रहे तो अच्छा रहेगा. So, unless you are forced by circumstances or necessities, maybe he may not reveal it also if it is not warranted. Dil ki baat dil hi jaane.
You know, although you phrased it delicately and almost sweetly, basically that sounds a bit like blackmail. If you force me, I will reveal things I don't want to otherwise reveal. That sounds a bit like blackmail or a threat.
Well, see, as I told you, there was one example of a blackmail. He was forced to resign. Now it has come out in the open. So let that episode be over. But normally, Mr. OPS is not a person who will blackmail others. and he is also not a person who can be blackmailed.
Very interesting report. Normally, and you said that twice, Mr. Paneerselvam is not the sort of person who will blackmail anyone, which suggests that this time round he could be pushed to blackmail.
No, no. The people of Tamil Nadu and the cadres of AIDMK are solidly with him, and they will see that the MLAs, they take their vote according to their conscience, and he will continue to be the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu.
All right, Mr. Maitriyan, let's leave it there. My thanks to you for joining me and giving us this exclusive interview. We're going to take a break at that point. When we come back, we'll be joined by top editors, some of the country's most informed and senior lawyers, and of course, party spokespersons to discuss the turmoil in Tamil Nadu. We'll be back in a moment's time for the second part of tonight's program. Welcome back. You're watching To The Point. I'm now joined by the former editor-in-chief of The Hindu, N. Ram, one of India's most illustrious Supreme Court lawyers, C. R. Sundaram, and Shashikala supporting AIADMK member Apsara Reddy. Apsara Reddy, Shashikala, as we speak, is with the governor in Raj Bhavan. She's meeting him. I take it her intention is to persuade him that she has A, the majority support to be sworn in as governor, as chief minister, and B, that swearing in should happen as soon as possible. How confident are you that she can succeed in persuading the governor of both points?
If the governor does the right thing and does not delay the way he delayed earlier, I think we're very confident that Chinnamma, Madam V.K. Shashikala, will become the Chief Minister of the state. She has the strong support of the party, the cadres, and I must draw your attention to the fact that social media trends do not reflect the real electorate from the farming belt and the rural areas and the districts of Tamil Nadu. I think people are getting caught up in emotion and lots of attacks drummed up by the opposition. I'm 100% sure that the majority of the party, the legislature party, and also the General Council members are firmly behind Madam Shashikala.
Mr. Arima Sundaram, we've just heard in part one Mr. Maitriyan say that in fact the governor agreed that he would look into the petition that has been presented by Mr. Paneerselvam, and clearly that will take some time to do. Does that mean that there will not be an immediate swearing in and that the governor will be required to spend more time, a day or two? And would that be legitimate in the circumstances?
Well, I don't think that's an excuse which can legitimately be trotted out. The governor's immediate function would really to see who he feels will have the support of the House to be the Chief Minister. If he has a petition from Mr. Paneerselvam, whatever the petition may be, the question before the governor right now is whether Mr. Paneerselvam has the command of the majority of the legislators and has the command of the House in order to stake his claim for a chief ministership. As to how he was removed, whether he was pressurized, whether suddenly the pressure stopped, these are all factors which are not really relevant at this juncture for the governor. The governor's primary first duty is to see who can form a stable government, and he can address himself to that immediately.
And therefore you're saying that the governor should not continue to delay the swearing in but should act immediately. Have I understood your corollary correctly?
True, even Rip Van Winkle woke up after 20 years.
Okay.
I'm hoping the governor will not take that long.
Enram, I'm referring to the leader in your paper, The Hindu today, where you say that to swear in Shashikala immediately would be a huge mistake in the event of a conviction expected in a few days. What makes you believe that conviction will be the outcome of the Supreme Court verdict in the next few days?
No, yes, that is one factor that is arguable, but I think the statement is, it's more applicable right now because it's clear that it's a very murky situation. The MLAs do not seem to be free to decide what they are going to do because, for example, Karan, this morning the Madras High Court was falsely informed that the MLAs are roaming about in the MLA hostel. So our photographer and reporters went there and found this utterly untrue. So somebody claiming to be a government advocate informed the Madras High Court that the MLAs were in the hostel here. This is completely false. It could even amount to perjury. in the court. So it's clear that it's a very murky situation. And secondly, Karan, public opinion is shifting very rapidly away from Shashikala. Whether Paneerselvam commands an overwhelming majority among the people, great popularity, I don't know. But as between the two, the ground has shifted completely, I think. And it's not just online campaigns putting pressure on MLAs. Of course, they can't be reached. Their phones are not being diverted and so on. But it's a very murky situation. So I think that's the key question. Are the MLAs being forcibly restrained against their will, at least some of them? If so, how can the governor decide who should be, who should continue, who should win in this case?
Very, very quickly,
he has to
Ram.
ascertain this. This is a very important factor.
Very quickly, Ram, did you? Oh, I believe Mr. Paneerselvam is holding a press conference. We are going to cut immediately to Mr. Paneerselvam holding a press conference. The caretaker Chief Minister O. Paneerselvam at the beginning of his second press conference after his meeting with the governor. He held a brief one shortly around 5:30 in the evening, where he didn't actually say much. He only spoke for about a minute at the most. But it looks as if he's now decided to meet the press again, and we're waiting for that press conference to start. Remember, as Mr. Paneerselvam gets ready to address the press, Shashikala, his great rival, is actually with the governor, presumably attempting to persuade him, A, that she's got the numbers to form a government, and B, that she should be sworn in as soon as possible, if not immediately. That meeting began at 7:30 and it has gone on for 10 minutes, and soon, if it continues, it will have lasted for longer than the meeting Mr. Paneerselvam had at 5 o'clock with the governor. Let me go back to my guests whilst we wait for Mr. Paneerselvam to start talking. Ram, one quick point of clarification, and give it to me quickly. You said in that answer that in fact a government lawyer had possibly lied and therefore perjured himself at the Madras High Court. Did you mean in fact a lawyer on behalf of the Shashikala side? Is that what you meant when you called him a government lawyer, or were you actually saying a government lawyer, which means someone on behalf of Mr. Paneerselvam? Which of the two?
Not Paneerselvam. In fact, I'm reading from this report in the Hindu. On Thursday afternoon, an hour after government advocate P.M. Rajendran informed the Madras High Court. So how the government advocate went and said this on behalf of Shashikala, I don't know. But he wrongly informed, he certainly falsely informed the Madras High Court that the 125 odd AIADMK legislators supporting VK Shashikala were at the legislators' hostel campus. And a visit by our correspondent showed that it was locked.
Let me bring you in at that point, Mr. Sundaram. You know, you believe that the governor needs to swear in Shashikala immediately, that any delay is in fact an infringement of the constitution. You made the same point yesterday as well as day before. You're making it even more forcefully tonight. But clearly, the AIADMK party is fracturing. It still seems as if the majority is with Shashikala, but important people like the chairman of the presidium has moved over to the other side. There's a belief that there are many other MLAs waiting for an opportunity to do so. Then you've also heard Enram tell us how MLAs are being held virtually in custody in resorts, not allowed to leave. You've also heard how a counsel on behalf of Shashikala's side has possibly lied and perjured in front of the Madras High Court. Aren't all of those good reasons for the governor to take his time to ascertain the facts and to be absolutely sure before he acts? And isn't that another good reason for delaying rather than immediately swearing in a chief minister?
Karan, all those are good. All those are good reasons why you do not take a long time over filling in a vacuum. The longer you take to fill in a vacuum, the more of this will happen. There is no manner of doubt. If you keep waiting for another 1 week, there will be more unrest caused. That is why the normal system is that as soon as there is a vacuum, the governor acts immediately to fill it and to give a stable government. Why? Because the longer he delays with a vacuum, the longer the instability can arise. It gets more of an opportunity to arise. Now, for all I know from all the things I'm hearing, the governor may have already left it too late. In other words, the governor may have very successfully created a very unstable environment, very successfully creates a situation of a constitutional breakdown. And that is my objection to the governor's behavior. My point is, if the governor swore in the person with the majority then, if subsequently the party had a change of heart and came back and said, look, the majority of legislators now want somebody else, it could always have been done. The person could have had to step down, somebody else would have come in. But the longer you delay it, more friction, fractures there will be, the more the unrest will be, the more the instability will arise, which is why the first rule is act quickly to give a stable government. The longer you leave a vacuum, the longer you leave uncertainty, the worse the situation becomes. That's why the governor should try to act with alacrity and not act with such delay like what he has done. In fact, everything that Ram is saying proves the point.
Apsara, this evening,
for the last 2 days.
Apsara, this evening, how do you view the role played by the Modi government, and how do you view the claims, they are not as yet claims that the government in Delhi accepts, that there have been instructions given formally or informally to the governor to take his time and not to rush, possibly to wait for the Supreme Court verdict? How do you view all of that?
First of all, I think an important state like Tamil Nadu with so many sequence of, there was crisis, there were important events, now there's a swearing in that's about to happen. We need a full-time governor. I think any responsible central
but that's not the question I asked you. Apsara, come to the question I asked you, because we'll be running out of time on this show. How do you view the role of the central government?
I don't specifically see any role of the central government here, but I just feel O. Paneerselvam is playing into the hands of the DMK and the opposition here in the state, and I really hope that the governor does the right thing by swearing in Shashikala, madam.
All right, we're going to leave this particular show there. I'm going to take a break. There'll be a moment later, will be more on this channel about that ongoing turmoil, tension, which is deeply interesting in Tamil Nadu. But I'll just point out before I go that the meeting that Shashikala is having with the governor now seems to have gone on for 15 minutes, and clearly, therefore, it's lasted longer than the meeting Mr. Paneerselvam had at 5 o'clock. From me, goodbye, good night. But we'll be continuing with coverage from Tamil Nadu as soon as this break is over.